Welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show.
Hello and welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show. It's time to give our thoughts on the weekend. Who's going to win? We've been on fire. We don't want to pump ourselves up too much, but we've been on fire. We're coming to you from the beautiful Gold Coast. It must be good for our heads because we think very clearly when it comes to the games. There you go.
Thanks, mate.
There's the weekend coming up. What's the first one? We've got the Gold Coast taking on Collingwood. It's on the Gold Coast. I'm tipping an upset. I think the Gold Coast can win. I think they're going to show the football world they're the real deal, and they're going to lock in their finals for the first time in the history of the Gold Coast.
And they've got one
Suns.
game to go to.
They've got Essendon in the final round, which will be a win because nothing against Essendon, but they're playing young kids and they won't be beating them if they do play on the Gold Coast. They won't be beating the Gold Coast up here. So Collingwood, can they beat them?
This is a huge test, and this is what I've been speaking about all year. If Gold Coast are genuine about going deep into finals, this is a game they get done. But that's still the big question mark for me on whether they can. I think Collingwood will win, but Gold Coast should have a fair crack at that Collingwood and might get up. But no, I'm thinking Collingwood will be too good, too classy, and then we'll get it done. But I think it's a big test.
Knowing
big
David
test.
Hardwick, I reckon he would have set Gold Coast for this. He'd be loving the challenge. We're on the big stage. Hey, we've got to show what we're all about. They're tough. So the midfield is where the game will be won. You'll see Matty Rao, Noah Anderson, they're in good form. They're hard at the footy.
And, I think this, if Gold Coast win, it's all about growing the game up here. And that you want that stadium packed and you want the whole Gold Coast state to really
starting to believe
and buy and just get crowds there and grow the game here. If they win this, that'll be a big part of growing the game in Queensland, I think. So these are the games they need to win and build momentum.
And I think with meeting a lot of people on the Gold Coast, they've all got a footy side. And Gold Coast for them, they've come from different states. So Gold Coast for them is their second team up here. So they're hopeful that they can do well. This is a way to really lock them in.
Yeah.
As we know, winning changes everyone's thought pattern. The Blues, Brisbane Lions, Thursday night at Marvel. Can the Blues cause an upset? Can they tackle? Can they hit targets? Can we see Michael Voss against his former team where he was premiership hero, premiership captain? Can he bring them undone?
No. But seriously, if this is another smashing, we don't want to go there again. We're not going there. But if this is another smashing, seriously, come on.
No, they'll be better. They've got to be better, surely.
But if they get smashed by another, say, 6-7 goals or 50 points or whatever it is, question marks. There's got to be that's a month where you've been absolutely smashed. So this is going to be a big, big game for Carlton. They've got to bounce back and be close enough and really push them and play for the club and play for Vossi. But if it's another smashing, then I don't know where to go for them.
Brisbane, 40 plus.
You reckon?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Another big loss.
If you get the real Brisbane, or if you get a Brisbane half-cocked, maybe they're a chance.
You're getting Brisbane at their best because they want to be in the top 4, top 2 calculation so they get the home final. So they'll be coming out ready.
And what happens with the good teams this time of year is they all start standing up, but because there's great pressure on, you even look at Collingwood, there's unbelievable pressure to work out what's their best side. It's the same with Brisbane at the moment. What's our best side? So the guys in there who are on the fringe, they're playing for their lives. So, a team obviously is made up with your good players and then you want your 15th to 20th player being a really good contributor. You're getting so much out of those players because they don't want to be going out of that team. So maybe we'll see the best of them. Bulldogs up against the Crows.
Big game. Wow, this is huge.
Is it?
Bulldogs.
Yeah. I think the Bulldogs are just in really good nick. Adelaide will really push them. As you said, their back line can be a bit of a concern, especially with the three talls. So if they can isolate them a little bit, those three talls, maybe that'll be a huge advantage for Adelaide. But I just feel like the Bulldogs have got a bit of momentum about them and they've got a good feel. And as you said, they're capable of knocking off anyone.
And it's at Marvel. Bulldogs and Bont play unbelievable at Marvel. So that's why I'm like, they won't lose there. Bulldogs will get that done. The only issue will be Crows forwards, as you said. The three big boys down there could cause a bit of a nightmare for the Bulldogs because their backline is susceptible to goals kicked.
A team you think might be capable of winning the whole thing if they can play their best, which is a challenge for every team. The Giants, they're up against Geelong. It's in Sydney. Geelong are red hot. They rested Bailey Smith last week, so possibly comes in this week. Holmes is on fire. But then the Giants, nice win.
I think Giants.
Building okay.
I think Giants. I think they need to win. And they're that kind of club. They come up, remember I said they came up to Brisbane, no one thought they were going to win. They come out and win.
Tip.
When they need to win, they win. They're that kind of club. I couldn't speak higher of them. I reckon they're a really talented list. They've got stars all over the ground. And look, Taylor's not even playing.
When they tried to lure you, obviously you're always going to Sydney, but you went and met with the Giants just to fatten up your check from the Swans. You were impressed then, were you?
Not then, I wasn't. No, but no, I think Croft. You've got to admit when they're at their best, they're in the top two in the comp easily, absolutely easily.
But the question when.
Oh, look at them. You watch, they'll win this.
Okay, Richmond-Essendon. This is huge. Arch rivals. Yeah. Two teams that have been struggling. However, this should be a good little game because Essendon has shown a lot with some of their key forwards. May, who's kicking a few goals, coming in mid-season. Caddy. The future's very bright. And then obviously you've got Richmond who've got a lot of young talent out there. It's the MCG. We know that they can play some half-decent football at times. So this might be a close one.
Essendon.
You think Essendon? Okay. I think Essendon too.
Not with much confidence, but yeah.
Fremantle Hawthorn over in Perth. This is going to be a ripper because Fremantle on the rebound. They obviously had won 6 in a row until the defeat against the Swans. The Hawks, not convincing, but very convincing the week before. This is going to be good. Will they shut down Sarong or will they just take him on?
I don't know, yeah.
I'm
obviously going for Hawthorn. I think they can get it done. But if Fremantle play the two rucks, Hawthorn will win.
Yeah, I don't know with this match. I really don't know.
I think, Hawthorn, when they're at their best, which they're playing some really good footy, I think they can get this done. I think Fremantle, they're hard to beat at home. It's just they're a strange, very strange. I'm going to
go Fremantle. I think Fremantle just at home, that's a factor for me.
And Hawks.
Not convinced though. We've got Melbourne against North Melbourne. Melbourne are playing really well. I think they're playing really well, and North Melbourne have just got way too many injuries now, even off the back of the weekend in their 100-year celebration. And I just don't think they've got that depth. I'm hoping they can push them because we don't want one-sided games and they were very good last week with their effort, North Melbourne, but I just think Melbourne seemed together and united, even though they haven't been locking away the wins. They just seem like a different side to the one that started this year.
I think this will be close. And you look at how North Melbourne played at the MCG a couple of weeks ago when they got the win against Carlton. They play that MCG pretty well because they're young and they can run and cover the ground.
Davies Unac will be out because of concussion. So
doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. I think this will be very, very close. But I think Melbourne will win. But I think North Melbourne will be within 2 goals. But Melbourne will get it done.
The Saints in Sydney. This is at Marvel.
Oof. Saints at Marvel.
I think Sydney got their mojo back though. Although they're going to miss a couple of keys. Although they've still got Goulden and they've still got Heaney. How good's Heaney?
No, Swans will get this done. I think Yeah, they'll get this done. I think it'll be Saints will come out firing, which they always do at Marvel. They play the ground really well, but I think Sydney are in terrific form. Only issue will be that forward line. Two of their guns or two of their really good players out. Hurts.
Ross Lyon will be definitely locking down either a Warner or a Heaney. Maybe even a Goulden.
Oh, if I'm Saints, I'm playing on Goulden. I think he's a key to them. With his ball movement, he's kicking, he's averaging 25 to 30 touches a game since he's been back and he's changed them. So that's who I'd be sitting on.
And Port Adelaide to finish the round. This one's a bit disappointing. Port Adelaide against West Coast in Adelaide.
Port.
Yeah, that's a moral. Okay, the certainty. Who's the one? We don't always go the easiest one. We always go one that's, not so obvious. What are we thinking with our certainty? No, you're not. You can't be.
That's what I'm thinking. Guys, this is my certainty. I think GWS will beat Geelong.
You think that's a certain thing to happen on the weekend? I think this running, the running that you've been doing is not good for your head.
I reckon that's what's going to happen. GWS will get it done against Geelong.
Okay. If you really want to be like that.
Yep. And
Gold Coast to beat Collingwood. That's my prediction this week.
Not happening.
Gold Coast, this is their grand final this week. They've set themselves, and I've got a feeling. I
think Collingwood will get it done, but if Gold Coast win, good luck to them.
I've got a feeling.
Good luck to them, and it'd be awesome for football if they were to get the win against Collingwood, but I can't see it.
There we go. Hey, we've really gone out on a limb. You've been listening to the Buddy and Shane Show for AIA Australia, a life, health and wellbeing insurer with a commitment to helping Australians lead healthier, longer, better lives. Good on you, bud.
Thanks, Sean.
All the best.